Okay, so hi. Today I'm going to talk to you about demonology. Now, demonology is a branch of theology. If you don't know, theology is the objective study of religion. It studies what what part does it place each character uh, from such religion and the relation they have between them, the way, how have they changed through time, because as we know, of course, religion is a man-made construct. So it's something that is going to change through time. It's something that it's going to get modified. It's something that it's going to evolve, or different religions might come out of such. A good example of this would be Celtic religion. Right now it's divided in two mainly. Of course it still exists Celts and such. However, there are Druids and there are Wiccans, and they both come from Celts. However, they worship different gods or particular gods or in different ways. Now, demonology studies, as you might have guessed by now, it studies demons and it studies the villains of religions. Now, this is very interesting because it's called demonology because most of the times demon or demonic characters are not precisely benevolent or good or nice, as you might know. So, but however, there are religions which deities are just demons, or I mean, there isn't like a benevolent god. There isn't precisely an evil one, but it's they are not there because they're good, or because they loved us, or anything. A good example of this, which is I find it pretty interesting, is the oldest religion that we well, the oldest religion period, which is Mesopotamic religion. I believe it has a specific name. However, I'm not going to mention it because I'll try to say in common terms and the such to make this, well, not to make it boring, and so my point is clear enough. Now, in Mesopotamic religion, the deities weren't benevolent gods or all loving gods. They were demons, and they were pretty chaotic entities. And well, it's curious that this is the way we, mankind, looked at things from such a long time ago. And from there, well, many things came to be. Mainly, I'm going to speak about Abrahamic religions. And if you don't know, Abrahamic religions are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Now, Abrahamic religions are monotheistic. This means that they worship only one God. There's only one authority for saying so. There is only one deity who is omnipresent, omnipotent, from which such deity everything was created or developed. It isn't like, for example, in polytheistic religions, like it would be ancient Norse mythology, where you have Odin and their sons Thor, Freya, yada yada yada, where you have a lot of other gods who are gods. They all are gods. I mean, in theory, if Thor was mad at his father Odin, he could kill him. I mean, Thor had the power to do so. However, in Abrahamic religions, if, I don't know, one of the angels didn't fall in line and was angry to his father, spoiler alert, could not take on God, and thus it would be just cast from heaven and the such. And this is where demonology kicks in. Now we have something that goes against God. Now we have a villain, like we have something, we have someone to blame for saying so. So in Christianity and these Abrahamic religions, we have many appearances of demons and devils and such. And they have been changing through the years or through time. They have been changing through time. A good example of this would be Lucifer or Satan. Now, Lucifer and Satan are two different characters. However, they many people see them as the same, or even Beelzebub, Lucifer and Satan as the same character. Just different names for the same deity, for the same religious character, which is not correct because these three are different characters in religion. Now, first we have Satan, and Satan is often called the devil, and this is wrong. Now, the word devil is just the manifestation of evil. Now, this means that anyone could be a devil. Someone violent, someone doing evil doings would be a devil. It's not necessarily, the devil. It should be. It's not objective. It's something that falls in confusion, and people use the term wrongly. Now, just to talk about a bit of history here, the first Satan character that we have, the first antagonist, was Mastema. Now, Mastema is a character that appears in the Jubilees. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. It is an ancient Jewish book, and it's a character following up the story of the 200 angels who were sent to Earth to guard humans, but ended up having relationships with women and thus spreading sin across the earth and going against the directive from God, and thus they were cast from heaven. Now, this event took place in another book, which is called the Ancient Book of Enoch. Now, commonly, Enoch or Enochian is a term used with anything related to angels or angelical beings. However, Mastema was just an angel. It wasn't like it was just of he was just one of those 200 who were cast from heaven. Now, Mastema was more of a rebel. He was cast, so he wasn't precisely happy with his father, God, and thus decided to go against his directives, like from that point on. So he had the solemn will to drive people astray from the path of goodness, or to do evil doings, not necessarily violent doings, but to sin. Not necessarily big things like murder or like massacres or things like that, but without a doubt, like not being faithful, not being loyal, desecrating temples, and as such, going more directly against his father, the directive from his father. Now, moving on, in time, we have the appearance of the Great Red Dragon. Now, this is a very interesting character in Abrahamic religions. The Great Red Dragon first appeared in Revelations, and the thing with this character is that he is described to have equal power to God. Now, this is where the problem comes in, because if you have two deities, because now it is a deity, if you have two characters of the same amount of power, well, they are equals, and thus it's no longer a monotheistic religion, because now you have another creature who is equally powerful to God. And well, that causes a problem. And these types of discrepancies and of contradictions, it's what makes religion and theology such a difficult topic to digest, because you can spend literally years and years and years reading and analyzing what many authors have wrote about the topic, and still argue about it and not having a clear conclusion. So this is the part where the Great Red Dragon comes in. Now, the Great Red Dragon, as you can figure out, is an evil character. Is a devil, because he goes against the directive from God, and it's also a violent type of entity. It's a it's what we would call a chaotic entity. Now, while God is order and God is light and love and life, the red dragon would be chaos, which goes against order, would be death, which goes against life and the such, and it would be perdition, which goes against salvation, which is something that is offered by God for saying so, by this Abrahamic God. Now, moving on time, we have the appearance of Morningstar. Now, Morningstar is referred also as Lucifer, even though Lucifer had previous appearances in different books. But the first time Morningstar with this name was mentioned was on the King James Bible. And something interesting about this character is that he is described with hooved legs, goat fur, sorry, bad pronunciation there, and, well, horns and these attributes that make him a man transformed into a beast rather than the other way around. And this is very curious because if you look for the deity called Pan, Pan, is or Phan, is a Greek god, and he's not an evil god or anything. I mean, it's not studied by demonology per se. I mean, he is studied because of his resemblance with Morningstar, but it's precisely that. Now, this is a very ancient god. It's older, of course, it's a lot older than the Abrahamic religions, and it's described the very same way as Pan. So Pan was an erotic god. It was a Greek erotic god, but wasn't an evil one. And it's funny that King James described Morningstar or the devil as Pan, and this is because Christianity in particular had a very rough time going through pagans and trying to convert them into Christianity, because pagans were or are a very strong community, and thus Christianity started to twist things from pagans into Satanism or things that are evil. For example, the pentagram, the five-pointed star, is a pagan symbol and it's nothing bad at all. Again, however, Christians took the star, took one of its points down, and then it was a satanic symbol, and then it meant Leviathan and other demonic figures, just to go against paganism and to attack directly paganism, and thus forcing pagans to become Christians. And it stuck. I mean, it stuck around even today. If you see a pentagram, even if in media, in entertainment media like movies, books, and such, you have the pentagram, and it's something bad. It means the devil. It means evil, when it originally doesn't at all. So this is why I really like demonology, because it shines a bit of truth in things that one wouldn't normally know, like the origins of such symbols and the like. Now, just for closing the video, I would recommend you to read a bit about Anton LaVey, which is an important figure in the Satanic Church. In the Satanic Church, and to look for Aleister Crowley. Now, these two are very interesting figures in the topic of demonology because they are pretty recent. So it's cool and all to study King James and whatever, but that happened a few hundred years ago. And as I mentioned, this study of theology and demonology is something that should keep on going. So just for closing, because I don't have that much time, sorry, I would recommend you to look for them, to read a bit about them. If you like them, cool. If you don't like them, cool. I mean, just so you can understand a bit more. And well, that would be it for today. If you have any doubts, any comments, I mean, you dislike the video, just like write down the comments. in the comment section. And well, that would be it from me. Bye.